So I want to take you guys behind the scenes and show you everything that happens start to finish. The fabric has already been inspected at this point, right? Essentially, these machines here are just transferring the logo by heat, right? So they can guarantee that every single unit is going to be of high quality for your customer. Yes, how's it going, guys? Hope you're well. Welcome to a brand new episode. It's going to be really cool today. I'm in a top sports and athleisure wear factory, and I want to show you the process from start to finish on how you can make your sport garments. And today I'm in Qinzhou, China, visiting a factory called Rion, which manufactures for some of the top brands in the world. And we're going to have a guided factory tour. So whether you're already an established sportswear brand, or if you're a fitness influencer, or you want to get involved in the game, this is a top factory for you guys to be working with. And I just want to introduce you to my guy Figo.
Hello.
Figo, thank you so much for showing us around the factory today. On the wall behind us, you've got some of the brands that you manufacture for, some of the certificates that you have, some very big brands here. You've got your Gymsharks, your Reeboks, at Squat Wolf, Specialized, Fila, so a wide variety of different brands that you work for. What would you say is like your specialty, why you're so good?
We specialize like in yoga wear, fitness wear, running wear, cycling wear, sports underwear, athleisure wear, and some teams wear.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we're going to go for a little guided tour around the factory.
Yes.
Let's go from the very start of the process of how a garment is made into the end. So the start is probably where you receive the materials, right?
Yes.
So let's go check out the material storage area, and then we'll do the tour from there.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You know when they say like elevator music, it really is elevator music. This is where we have the drop off. Alright guys, so here's the first part of the process. So for any purchase order, the material is prepared in advance. The material is all cut and prepared, and that's to the Pantone color and the exact material of the customer's requirements. But this one is pretty cool because you have the global recycled standard here. So any brand which is focused on like sustainability or any environmental concerns, this fabric has come from recycled materials, and you have the official certification to back that. So if you go like, what type of brand would want recycled material? Is that a brand which is conscious about environment and sustainability?
No, almost all the brand, they have certain products made with recycled fabrics.
Out of interest, like what's the cost difference between like just normal polyester material but recycled polyester material as well?
Now usually around 20%, some more or less.
So, and that's just 20% on the cost of the material, not on the cost of the product. So the material cost can actually be quite low in the actual final product cost, because the labor costs can be quite high.
Yeah.
So when you hear like, oh, it's 20% more expensive, it's actually maybe only 8% more expensive.
Around 10%.
Yeah, around 10%.
Because it's major cost of the product.
Got you, cool. So anyone interested in recycled materials, always check out the Global Recycled Standard. Make sure you have a certificate, and you can ask your factory directly for recycled materials before you start your production process. So here we've got all the different types of materials which arrive, and they come to the top floor. And you've got fabric awaiting inspection, so they actually inspect the fabrics before they're put to use. So normally the materials come from outside, and then they're inspected here before they're cut and then put on the production line to put into garments. So let's check out the fabric inspection area. So here's where the fabric's actually inspected, right? So we just saw the fabrics on the fabric roll, which is put on top of this machine here, and then it's rolled through, and they actually have a light underneath it as well. So all the fabric is inspected before it's then cut and sewn and turned into garments as well. So it's great to see that the material is inspected. If there's ever anything wrong with the materials, then they can correct it before it actually gets turned into making a product. So all of the goods are inspected here, and then once okay, it goes into the production process through here. So now we're going to go into the cutting workshop. We've received the material, we've inspected the material, now we're going to cut the material, which happens inside here. So you spread the fabric out first, and this is the fabric has already been inspected at this point, right? Yes. And now it's just opened up, and then once it's opened up, then it goes to cutting, which is done here.
Yes.
Cool. here we have the laser cutting, so we have the fabric rolled out, and you can see on the screen here how the garments are all assembled together. So you actually make the most of the material, because that's the fabric width roll, and then you can try and squeeze as many garments onto that as possible, so you're making the most of the fabric and there's not much wasted fabric. And then Figo, so like that part on the side is like your wasted fabric. So what do you do with the fabric that's cut and you don't use at the end of the production? Can you repurpose that for something else?
Yeah, it'll be collected by a specific company. They will recycle that fabric.
Oh, so they'll gather that, they'll recycle it, and then that can also become like your global recycled material as well. So this is a machine here, you can see the intricacies of it. It's not on at the moment, but that's basically what your laser cutting machine will look like, and it will cut. Actually, we've got one on over here, so let's check out this one. So no matter what the size of the garment, whether it's small, medium, large, XL, this will cut it specifically to the customer's requirements on the size, right?
Yes.
And then that's the machine in use at the moment. You can see it cutting in real time. And then over here you can actually see that is like the paper cutting of what's been cut there, but then you have layers and layers and layers of fabric underneath. So this could be like a sleeve, this could be like a shoulder compartment, this could be a legging, whatever is the garment being manufactured, it's cut to the size of the paper cutting, and then all your material is here underneath, which will then be taken downstairs to the sewing workshop, right?
Yes.
Cool. So here we're in the heat transfer workshop. It might be a little bit noisy behind us with the machines in use, but on a lot of garments that you have, you would heat transfer the logo of the garment on it, and sometimes you have like reflective patterns as well for any runners or whatever if they want to be seen at night. So essentially these machines here are just transferring the logo by heat, right? So it's like seamless, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Here's like your reflective tape, right? If I'm like a runner and I want to be seen at night, this is a piece of the garment you'd put here, and you can see here on this heat transfer machine, this is where they peel that off and it becomes now reflective tape. So if I've got a torch on that, you can now see the reflection. But that started from this and then was on that machine here. It's also very important to test the materials in a lab as well before they're put into production. So in this particular lab, they test for color fastness to make sure the color of the material doesn't rub, whether it's through like high temperature washing, or if it's through rubbing on other garments, or if the garment gets wet, that color doesn't rub off. So we can go inside here and actually check how we test for that. Here you have many different types of cuttings of materials that you're using across your production, but how is it you test for the color fastness?
So I do the washing test with the 6 different fibers.
6 different fibers?
Yes.
On this? Okay. And then you just rub them together, or you wash them together?
No, we're washing in the machine.
Okay, and that's the machine here that you wash them, right?
Yes.
So here it says tester for color fastness to washing, and you've set it at 40 degrees, which is typically the temperature that you would wash clothes at. And then if it can go through the washing and like the colors don't rub or the colors don't fade or there's no pilling on the material, then you know that the garments are fit for purpose and good to use in the manufacturing process. And here, these are all little cuttings of the fabric rolls that you saw in the first warehouse. So they're tested here before the materials are then cut and sewn and used for production as well. So if you are working with any factory, it's always important to ask them what machines do you have in-house in your factory for testing, so you can have confidence working with a factory which is testing the quality of the materials before they're producing it into final units for you. So it's always a great sign if a factory has a testing lab inside their own factory as well, because they test these things themselves. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I just wanted your attention real quick just to show you inside my school community, Sourcing with Kian, where here you can post any questions you like on the community wall. I've got a classroom section where I've got courses and trainings and guides on product development, sourcing, supply chain, all my documents, templates, forms, contracts, scripts to be sending suppliers, making sure your products are profitable, how to qualify manufacturers, Canton Fair course, plus much more. I've also got an office hours section. This is where I do all my weekly live group coaching calls, and they're all recorded and submitted here as well. I have guest speakers that I bring on. Plus, if you're in Asia or Australia, we have calls for your time zone as well. We've got community members all over the world, and these guys are 6, 7, 8 figure sellers on Amazon, Shopify, Kickstarter. So if you're interested to join this community and learn more, click the link below, book a call, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the inside. All right, guys, hope you're enjoying this factory tour so far. As we go to the next workstation, if you are getting value from this video, please do me a solid and hit that like and subscribe and turn on the bell, ding ding, to turn on post notifications so you can be updated as soon as I make factory videos like this. I want to take you guys behind the scenes and show you everything that happens start to finish from great factories like this. And the more subscribers we get, the more factory videos I will do like this. So please do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, and let's continue with the factory tour. All right, cool. So now we're on the production line floor, and you can see one of the production lines behind us. And like, Figo, how many production lines do you have in this factory?
In this factory, we have 14 lines.
40. Okay.
14, yeah.
Oh, 14. So we've got 14 production lines in this factory, right? And we're just going to go have a look down one of them. But it's very, very important for you to understand, like any factory that you're working with, you always want to ask them, like, how many production lines do you have in your factory? Because that's important for you to know what is their ability to scale and how many units can you produce on every production line and how is your production line organized. So if you've never seen a production line before, here you have like all the data and like Figo, like what would be the typical information that you have here?
Well, we'll be showing like all the number, style number, and all the quantity and the target quantity for every day and real finished quantity on time.
So if a customer places an order of like 10,000 pieces, let's say for leggings, how many leggings do you think you can produce in one day?
Maybe 20,000 pieces.
20,000 pieces in one day?
Yeah.
Oh, so you've got very, very big output.
I mean, it's quite basic, just a 4-needle flat lock stitching.
Yeah. That's quite a basic item, but maybe if it's a little more complex, then it'd be less items.
Yes.
So let's take a quick look down the production line and let's see like every single part of the production process. Alright, so this is a product that we've been looking at, and this is the flat lock stitching that we were looking at as well. And this woman's running shorts is 80% polyester, 20% elastane. What would be the rough FOB price for a product like this?
Around $4.
Around $4. Yeah. And it's like got pockets at the side as well. It's got quite complex stitching, nice color, but around $4. And what's the MOQ you would expect for that $4 price?
1,000 pieces.
1,000 pieces. But if the quantity increases, then the price can drop as well, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe if someone just wants to place their first trial order to you and they only want to do 500 pieces, you would also accept the lower MOQ as well, right?
Yes.
But maybe if you take a lower MOQ, then the price instead of $4 might be 10% higher, like $4.40 or something like that.
Yeah, but so depend on the style.
Sure. So the price and the MOQ is always negotiable, but I just want to give you a rough price. So this is around $4 and around 1,000 pieces MOQ, but it can be negotiated down as well, depending on your quantity and your specific requirements.
Yeah.
Alright, so here we have the laser cutting device, right? And then on a lot of garments, sometimes you'll see laser cutting like with the brand logo on it, like under arms, some breathability, some holes, whether it be on the back or the front of the garment or the sides. And this device here, you have a nice metal material underneath with holes that you just put the clean fabric over it, and then based on the computer, you put the design of whatever laser cutting you want, and it does that straight onto the fabric. So that laser cutting machine is done here, and as you can see, there's another 4 of them behind as well. So lots of capabilities in the factory, whatever type of laser cutting that you want, they can all do it by machine, and it happens somewhere like here. So upstairs in the factory, we saw a lot of garments, but they were just solid color. But if you have a all-over design, like something like this is a heat transfer digital print. So first the design is printed by the CMYK. So we've got the 4 CMYK colors here, and with these 4 colors, you can use those 4 colors to have any different type of colors mixed together, right? So you have your design here, which comes from the artwork file, then it's printed onto paper. You can see they make the most use of the fabric roll. This fabric roll is 1.5 meters wide, so they've managed to get the width of 3 garments onto one roll. That gets printed, and then by heat transfer, that then gets transferred onto the actual garments, and then you have a color garment based on the design here. But that is printed here using CMYK, and then in the next room it's done by heat transfer, and then the garment is cut, and then you have your full color garment as well for whatever design you may need. Did I say that correctly, Figo, or is there anything else that you want to add? Cool. Maybe I should work in this factory if the YouTube stuff doesn't work out. So we have the plain white fabric roll here, and then this plain white fabric roll is actually inserted into this machine here. It's actually off at the moment, but the printing that we saw next door, the printing is on the top, and then the white fabric's on the bottom, and then together that's the heat transfer, and then when it comes out the other side, then your garment with the design comes out, and then it's cut, and then it turns into your final product. So once the goods have completed production and they've come off the production line, they then go to ironing. So here we have the ironing area. So whenever you receive a product from a brand and you get it in the packaging and it's nice and neat and crisp, it comes from a place like this where it's fully ironed before it gets inspected. So you can see here that the garments are ironed and just takes out any sort of creases in the garment, so it's nice and fresh. After it's been ironed, it's then where it gets final inspection as well. So as we go over here, the garments are inspected, and this is to make sure they don't have any dust marks or dirt marks or loose threads or loose stitching. And if they do have any loose threads or loose stitching, something like this, you just cut them off. So if you ever receive a garment and you have loose threads in it, it just means that the factory hasn't had a good quality control process. So it's very important when you work for a factory that they do the final ironing, they do the final checking, they do cutting off the loose threads, so they can guarantee that every single unit that comes from your production, from your order, is going to be of high quality for your customer. So now the goods have been fully inspected, they've been checked, they've been ironed, now they come here for packing, and you can see here that they just get put into these poly bags and then sent in the cartons, and they're going to be packed to the final customer. And here they are getting every individual piece. They're adding on the hang tag, and which you have here, then they're adding them into the poly bag, and then they're going to put them into the cartons, and then they'll be ready for final inspection and then for export. But one very, very important part here is that through the production process, you can see a big factory like this with many production lines and a lot of items and materials being transported. Sometimes you can have some sort of needles or any metallic objects which can come into contact with the garments. So here you have a needle detecting area. So every piece, one by one, is put on this conveyor belt and it's scanned for any metals, and if they found like a pin or a needle or anything sharp, then that is detected here. So before it goes into the final carton for export to the customer, it's been inspected and checked to make sure it doesn't have any harmful needles or any sharp objects like that. So this is full quality control. So whatever factory that you're working with, even if it's not apparel and garments, you want to ask them, what type of quality control process do you have? Can you send me photos and videos of your quality control process? And you want to see things like the ironing, the fabric checking, the needle inspection, so you know that every single part of the production process is great. And like Figo, how many sort of returns do you get from your customers? Your quality control must be so high that your inspections always pass and your customers are always very, very happy with your products, right?
Yeah. Usually we don't have return from customers because all the quality have been controlled very well.
Yeah.
Even we still have the final inspection based on AQL 2.5 level.
Yeah, and that's very important that you guys do your own inspection before you even bring in a third-party inspection company.
Yeah.
And you said AQL 2.5, and AQL is your accepted quality level.
Yes.
And that 2.5 is 2.5% of the actual production, right? So it means that you will accept minor faults on under under 2.5, and a minor fault might be like a loose thread or something like that.
Yes.
And anything over 2.5%, you will correct.
You will rework. And then re-inspect.
Yeah. Awesome. And then any sort of third-party inspection company that you work with, they can check for AQL 0.5, 2.5, 4, depending on the criteria. And here we have just the final packing area. So that was the needle detecting area that we just looked at. So the goods are passed through there fine, no needles, and then the garments, the poly bags, go into the master carton. The master cartons are sealed, and then they're packed into the container ready for export for you guys to sell to your customers. Yes, guys, so whenever you do come to the factory as well, you always want to make sure you go to the showroom as well. And in the showroom, you'll be able to see what their full capabilities are, all the brands they manufacture for, as well as what type of garments, because you might have seen them on Alibaba, you might have seen them at the Canton Fair, and then you think, oh, that's the product that I like. But when you come to the showroom, you see the full range of the supplier's capabilities. So let's go in and take a quick look at the showroom and then see if there's anything that catches our eye. So over here, you can see you've got like some basic gym garments, some tennis skirts, but then you've got some really high quality cycling garments as well, with different combinations of materials as well. So that might spark some ideas of products that you want to discuss as well. But this is a nice, clean, organized showroom. And as we come over here, we can see a wide range of different garments and materials here. But why this is important is that you can see this breathable laser cut material, and also you can see like the jacquard and the laser cutting here as well. So you might, we looked at the laser cutting machine before, but now we can actually see it implemented in all different styles of garments that you can get. And then you can also see that's the reflective printing that we looked at earlier before as well. And you might think, oh, that's a cool place. You can see you have the ripstop material as well. You have the heat seal, bonded seams as well. So many different ideas that you can get just from the showroom. And they do have products for different brands they've manufactured for in here, but I want to respect the brands that do manufacture here, and I don't want to reveal their products. So there might be some blurred logos that you see in the showroom, but here you can just see the full range of their capabilities. They've got a wall full of leggings as well, so that might give you inspiration for any sort of products that you're looking to develop as well. But always, always, always check out the showroom when you come to the factory as well. And if you bring your own samples, then you can compare to what they have, and you might just see something you really like that you can now take that to the production line and discuss about how you want to implement that for your brand as well. So always, always check out the showroom. Thanks, guys. Final bonus tip, if you get a chance, make sure you play basketball or ping pong or any sort of sport with the people at the factory. We'll edit that so that the ball just goes in. Figo, should we shoot around? How's your basketball?
Very bad.
Really bad? You want to take one shot? Just, I haven't played in a while either. Do you want to defend me? All right. All right. Basically, we keep rolling until I make it. Ah, yeah. All right. Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed that full-length YouTube video showing you the exact process start to finish. If you do want to level up your supply chain, your product development and your sourcing, don't forget I do have a school community called Sourcing with Kian, where you can check out in the link in the description down below, or go to sourcingschool.com, which will flash up here. And if you do want to work with Figo's factory directly for him to quote you on your garments as well, I've also put a document in the link in the description down below where you can quote and ask for what are your requirements, what type of garments you're looking for, and then Figo will read all of these and he'll be able to quote you on lead times and pricing for your brand, whether you're a startup, whether you're an influencer which has a good, whether you're a personal trainer and you have a good audience for any sort of sport apparel wear, or if you're a 6-7 figure brand already and you want to take your product development and supply chain to the next level, I only recommend and introduce factories which I would feel comfortable working with myself, and Rion and Figo, as from what you saw here, is a fantastic factory. So check out the link in the description down below if you want to inquire to this factory, and then hope you guys can level up your supply chain, and I'll see you guys on the next video.